Hello, this is TumaLord635 here, and today I'll be going over a list of 15 sets that GWAR Studios, ShadowWolfHount, and I deem to be the worst Bionicle sets. This includes Bionicle G2 and Bionicle G1. Kicking off this list, we got the Toa Nuva. The Toa Nuva were practically clones of their predecessors, the Toa Hordika, with the addition of new armor and a new limb piece. The new limb piece restricts forward movement to points unimaginable. I don't think any of us really thought that it could get worse than the Hordika. So, they did. The leg piece has a little stopper molded into the upper piece, the upper section of it, so you cannot move the leg forward. Unoriginal and flawed, the Toa Nuva take at number 15 for the worst Bionicle set. Next we have Makuta Chirox. Chirox appears to be a last-minute build, with the set having the lowest piece count of the $13 Funtoka sets and the most generic and flawed build. Yeah, this set is definitely the worst of the Funtoka line. The triple joint arms are... I don't think anybody really liked those. They didn't work very well, and I really don't see what they were going for. I'm pretty sure they could have gone away with just including normal arms and putting wings in the back of it. Or heck, take some inspiration from a clone of him, which would be Mutron. So, yeah, this set deserves the rank of number 14 for the worst Bionicle set. Not to mention... Hordika legs. Disgusting. 2008 was overall a year of greatness and many flaws. A good amount of the sets in this list come from that year. Here's another. Onuma Sticker. This set was not very liked by the community, to say the very least. 2008 was a pretty hated year, and people didn't think it worse than that. Well, here's 2015. We'll get into that later. Onuma Sticker looks extremely masculine. Extremely. More so than Onuma. And the Metru feet, that just makes proportions awkward. It's a sad day when the sleek and agile female that is more structured than the strong Toa of Earth. Onuma Sticker takes place as the 12th worst Bionicle set. With the only bulk of this set coming from various large shields, it fails to make up for the awkwardly scrawny build that Onuma provides. For being the Toa of Earth, man, it appears as a Toa of Water. I really think they should have switched Onuma and Gali around if they're going to do that. Switch the colors around. At least Onuma Sticker is bulky. Here we go, the only combiner model on this list. Here we have it, Ultimate Doom. Some people may argue that combiner model isn't exactly a set, which is true. As if LEGO were to upload instructions to the website, it would not have been an actual set. But Ultimate Doom was released at Target exclusive. The same goes for Voparak, Cardaz, and I think that's about it. Even Ernak was released as a Walmart exclusive. So here we go. Awkwardly thin limbs, poorly distributed color scheme, and a model looks absolutely nothing like it's supposed to. Look in the Legends of Metru Nui and you'll see what this set's supposed to look like. Makuta with wings. They failed miserably to make it even look reminiscently close to what it's intended to be. Ultimate Doom, a doom to your eyes. I'm pretty sure most of you are going to question why these sets didn't place lower in our list, because these are the most hated sets of Bionicle, the Toa Hordika. 2005 was a pretty shitty year for Bionicle all around. Nobody really liked it. The only set that I see people praise constantly is Hordika, and that's for, well, disgusting reasons that we will not bring up. The Toa Hordika were meant to be these monstrous beast Toa, but instead they delivered probably the most flawed Toa we've ever gotten in Bionicle. Let's see. Awkward asymmetry, awkward leg designs, like those feet. The thing is, the leg, it pushes it backwards. Like, it pushes the feet back, and they also push the feet back even more by putting the ball joint towards the end of the foot. The gear function, it's good they put on one arm, but I don't know why they didn't put on both. I mean, I kind of may have contradicted what I said there, but let me elaborate. It is cool that they didn't completely butcher the set with a function much like the Metru. Like, you cannot really pose those sets because they're arms. With these sets, you can pose them a lot more. But I think they put the gear function on in the worst possible way. They could have done somewhat better, or just got rid of it entirely, much like they did in 2006. If only this was the last set to be featured from Bionicle G2. Oh man, G2. Here we got the Protector of Earth, also known as Korgot. This thing is supposedly a female. Armed with a tit cannon, manly proportions, and arguably the most masculine proportions of any protector, we got Korgot. You know, this set, I was expecting it to be my favorite whenever I picked it up, but I ended up hating it. Why? The trans purple is hardly noticeable. The build is awkward. You cannot move the arms very much due to the way it's connected. And the fact that this is supposed to be a female doesn't make this set any better to me. So, yeah, we got a female that might make Golly 2015 feel good. Oh, wait. Moving on to another disappointing year of Bionicle, 2010. The stars were all around hated as sets. Bionicle ended with a fart and returned with a fart. Here's our opinion. The biggest shit of this line, Star Scrawl, with a tomb on his back, an odd neck, and a boring color scheme that poorly distributes its secondary color, we have an overall unlikable set. 2005. Oh, how you let us all down. Another batch of clones for the mid-years of Bionicle. We have the Rahaga, a group of midgets with roxy heads and odd posability. These sets serve as the shit companions for the shitty Toa of 2005. Not much to say here. Repetitive builds, lack of new and individual pieces, and I'm not really counting the ripcords as they were spammed across, I think, literally every set of this year. No individual elements, no creativity, just a generic, shitty $5 set. I'm surprised this set wasn't low on the list. Here is Male Golly. Where to start? A mask that hardly resembles her original form, a poor excuse for a trident, and a gear function that can't even support her hulking weapon. We have this set. With hardly any new elements, I really think LEGO could have included more azure to make it the primary color of the set rather than spamming pre-existing gunmetal and silver pieces. Azure is almost a secondary color in this figure. There's hardly any of it. There's what? 5 pieces on it? The 4 Azure 5 longs and the mask? I really think they could have done more. But, you know, it just goes to show LEGO does not want to recolor pieces as they're still spamming silver and gunmetal feet and silver fist hands. This figure is, people call it Male Golly, and I enjoy calling it that name because this set genuinely strikes me as a male. They failed to give this set feminine proportions, and they failed to strike it off as a female to me. Some people may argue that's the most feminine set of Bionicle, but we disagree. This set's even sold so poorly that every Target store across America, cleared it out back in March. Yikes. Now things get interesting. The top 5 worst sets. Kicking out the list, we have Skull Basher. With a function we've seen being used differently in the past, with Dragon Bolt, a generic name, and LEGO's obvious attempt at avoiding recolors, we have an overall bad set. With the main idea being to knock off the Toa's mask, I can't imagine his hugging function being able to knock off Onuma's mask. The random trans orange is funny as well. I find it odd that every trans orange piece, aside from the Borak eyes and the trans light blue and Skull Warrior, doesn't exist in the color that goes along with these sets. Wouldn't it be nice if we had trans purple 3 longs? Not just for mocking, it would have improved the look of the set. People say the trans orange adds an evil element to it, but if you ask me, it makes it look silly. By adding bright colors to a supposedly evil and dark set, they kind of ruin the color scheme and the overall look of the set. Back to 2008. We got Gorast. A random dark gray and Nike torso that throws off the color scheme is just one of the many things wrong with this set. I don't know who thought it would be a good idea to spam lime green Avmatoran limbs on a canister set. I really don't. Odd looks, odd proportions, and odd color placement. Yeah, this is worthy of being called the 4th worst Bionicle set. The next 3 shouldn't come off as a surprise if you're familiar with our opinions on Bionicle G2. Here we have Skull Slicer. If you thought a CCBS/Hero Factory build set couldn't get skimpier than XC4, you were definitely wrong. This set only has 2 pieces of cladding, much less than XD4. Sure, he's a skeleton, but he's also a gladiatorial warrior according to the storyline in LEGO Magazine. I think he'll at least use armor on his thighs. LEGO's refusal to make new pieces is painfully obvious, seeing as LEGO decided to reuse the Skull Spider mask, a piece that we've seen 13 other times, with 4 of those being in the same color of flat silver. Another fine example of trans orange being an eyesore. I find it funny how the only pieces LEGO chose to be trans orange don't exist in the needed colors. We only have one size of trans bright green armor. Why not introduce a trans bright green 3 long? More skull villains. Skull Warrior. This set is overall messy. Starting off with a poorly constructed weapon that we've pretty much seen before with the Jungle and Stone Protector, this set doesn't really bring anything new to the table. Unoriginality, sloppiness, and random trans orange pieces. I don't see much to like. This is the only set that has trans-orange pieces they could easily replace with the correct color, unlike the other smaller Skull villains, who have trans-orange pieces that do not exist in the corresponding colors. Here we go. The worst of Bionicles here. This is the definition of terrible Bionicle sets. Oh no! The good guy and bad guy polybags. These sets are shitty, but they don't really come off as actual sets since they were promotions and freebies. But we found them worthy of mention, so here are all the good guy and bad guy sets. Another honorable mention would be the 2015 Kopaka. The silver chestplate sticks out as a massive eyesore to me, as it's the only silver piece on the entire figure. The prototype even had a white chestplate, but LEGO failed to give us this. Some say that it looks like a white, it looks like a very faint version of silver in the prototype picture, but seeing as the LEGO animations, like the mini Bionicle cartoons, were based off the prototypes, and Kopaka has a white chestplate in there, I really do believe that it was a white chestplate. Especially with LEGO avoiding recolors in other sets, with Jungle Protector having green on its bow, and ended up receiving trans dark blue and yellow, I wouldn't be surprised if it was white. Now, the worst Bionicle set, Skull Scorpio. A set sucks when even Pedo Jang hates it. Here it is. The disgusting abomination that ranks #1 for the worst Bionicle set. No posability in the legs, random trans-orange claws that are a massive eyesore that you can't even fix because we do not have trans-lime green claws. LEGO really did avoid making recolors all throughout Bionicle G2, but this is definitely the worst case. If they should have done something along the lines of the new Ijaga, where it's this actual stinging tail rather than a pair of scissors mounted to the back of this thing. Overall, odd build, odd look, lack of posability, and yeah, I think this set is worthy of being called the worst Bionicle set of all time. Feel free to agree, disagree, write your own lists, do whatever. Comment calling us brain dead retards, just do whatever. Hope you enjoyed this video, and goodbye.